Change is accelerating and more disruptive than ever, or at least that's what we commonly hear. But is it really true? In his book, Seeing Digital, a visual guide to the industries, organizations, and careers of the 2020s, LEF research fellow David Moschella highlights some myths and challenges that organizations are wrestling with as he visualizes the emerging technology landscape. The last 50 years of technological advancement have unquestionably had an impact, but David suggests that if we expand our view to include the innovations of the 50 years prior, then a curious picture begins to emerge. In the early 2000s, we saw a breakthrough in communications, heralding the transition from telephones to internet calling through services like Skype. While this change was important, compare it to a different transition from the 1920s, the replacement of the telegraph with the telephone. Which change do you think had greater economic and societal impact? Then let's consider transportation. Which impact is greater, the transition from cars to autonomous vehicles, or the transition from horses to cars? We can examine multiple examples from history, but what we find time and again is that the truth about change appears to be more complicated than we first thought. If our perceptions about the impact of change require adjustment, what else might we be missing? Let's consider the pace of change. Both radios and black and white televisions took less than a decade to reach 50% adoption in US households. By comparison, more recent innovations like PCs and mobile phones were slower to reach the same level of ubiquity, taking 16 years and 12 years respectively. And curiously, modern innovations like the Internet of Things and virtual reality are being adopted at an even slower pace. Even though the rate of change is slower than we often think, every industry has a potentially disruptive scenario. Manufacturing asks, will robots and 3D printing reverse today's offshoring advantages? Automotive wonders, will driving and owning a car become the exception, not the rule? Banking worries, will we lose control over the global payment system? Questions like these reverberate throughout every industry: healthcare, energy, education, retail, and even within the military. While some industries are perhaps more insulated than others, we feel compelled to ask, do you really want to bet against change? LEF helps clients embrace opportunities created by disruption through research-led advisory interventions. To learn more about Seeing Digital, the myths and challenges that Dave addresses, and how this can help on your journey to digital business leadership, visit leadingedgeforum.com/advisory.